She said, "My parents drained my $890,000 trust fund for my sister's med school. Then Grandma's report destroyed." I didn't even finish the sentence out loud before my father cut in. "Destroyed what, Daniel?" Robert Whitfield asked, his tone calm, but already defensive. I looked at him across the dining table in our Greenwich, Connecticut home, the same table where my future had just been erased. "Destroyed your plan," I said quietly. My mother, Elaine Whitfield, froze mid-sip, her wine glass trembling just enough to betray her. "You're being dramatic," she said, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Dramatic?" I repeated, sliding my phone across the table toward them. The bank statement glowed under the chandelier light like a crime scene. $890,000. Gone. Transferred. Spent. On tuition payments to Yale School of Medicine. For my sister, Vivian Whitfield. She didn't look up at first. She kept cutting her steak like nothing had happened. Then finally, she sighed. "You found out earlier than I thought," she said, almost bored. Something inside me went still. Not angry, not shocked, just still. "You knew?" I asked. She shrugged. "It's medical school, Daniel." "That was my trust fund," I said. "It was the family's money," my father corrected immediately. "No," I said, my voice sharper now. "It was legally structured for me." Silence fell heavy across the table. Then my mother leaned forward, her voice soft, almost pleading. "Sweetheart, you weren't using it." I laughed once. A short, empty sound. I wasn't using it yet. "Exactly," she said quickly. "And Vivian needed it now." Vivian finally looked at me, her expression calm, almost clinical. "You are always going to be fine," she said. "You have connections." Connections don't replace $890,000. "You'll rebuild," she said simply. That's when it hit me. Not the money, not the betrayal, but the certainty in her voice. They had already decided my future for me, without me. Let me ask you something. If the people who raised you decided your life was expendable for someone else's dream, would you fight them or walk away? I leaned back in my chair, suddenly aware of how quiet the room felt. "How long?" I asked. My father hesitated. "Then, 2 years. 2 years. They had been draining my trust fund for 2 years. Carefully, strategically, without telling me." "You forged the trustee approvals?" I asked. My mother flinched. "We didn't forge anything," she said too quickly. "We adjusted the structure." "That's not how trusts work," I said. My father's jaw tightened. "I am your father. That's not a legal argument," I replied. Vivian rolled her eyes slightly. "Can we not turn this into a courtroom?" she said. "It already is," I said. "Except I didn't know I was on trial." The tension snapped. My father stood up. "You're being ungrateful." "Ungrateful," I repeated, rising slowly. "Yes," he said, his voice louder now. "Everything you have came from this family. And now it's gone," I said. "For me." My mother stood too, trying to soften things. "Daniel, please, we can work something out." "You already did," I said. "Without me." I grabbed my phone and keys. "Where are you going?" she asked. I paused at the doorway. "To find out exactly what you did. And more importantly, how much you're going to regret it." The next morning, I sat in a quiet office in downtown Stamford. Across from me was Margaret Holloway, my grandmother's attorney. She adjusted her glasses as she reviewed the documents I had brought. "These transfers," she said slowly, "were not authorized under the original trust structure." "I know," I said. "Then they required an amendment." "I didn't sign anything." She looked up at me. "No," she said. "You didn't." A cold feeling crept up my spine. "So how did they do it?" Margaret hesitated. "Your grandmother included a contingency clause." My heart skipped. "What kind of clause?" "One that allows temporary reallocation under family emergency conditions," she said. I exhaled slowly. "So they used Vivian's tuition as an emergency?" "Yes," she said. "But—" I leaned forward. "But what?" She folded her hands. "The clause also requires a quarterly independent review." I frowned. "What review?" Margaret met my eyes. "Your grandmother didn't trust your parents' judgment." Something shifted inside me. She assigned an external auditor. My pulse quickened. "Who?" Margaret reached into a file and pulled out a sealed envelope. "This arrived last week," she said. "From the auditor." I stared at it. My name was written across the front in precise, elegant handwriting. My grandmother's handwriting. She passed 3 months ago, Margaret said softly, but she scheduled this report before her death. My fingers tightened around the envelope. What's in it? Margaret's expression turned serious. Everything, she said. And Daniel, yes. You're not going to like it. I opened the envelope, and the world shifted. The report wasn't just numbers. It was evidence. Detailed logs of every transfer, every authorization, every override. And then, the final section, unauthorized manipulation of contingency clause. My stomach dropped. They hadn't just used the clause. They had stretched it, bent it, abused it, repeatedly, and according to the report, illegally. I looked up at Margaret. This means... She nodded slowly. Yes, they violated the trust. And there are consequences. What kind? She slid another document across the desk. A reversal order. I blinked. What? If misuse is proven, she said, all diverted funds must be restored. All of it? Yes. My heart started pounding. They don't have that kind of money, I said. Margaret's gaze didn't waver. They will have to find it. And in that moment, everything changed. Because this wasn't about confronting them anymore. This was about accountability. And they had no idea what was coming. That night, I returned home. The house felt different. Not warm. Not familiar. Just temporary. My parents were in the living room. Vivian sat between them, flipping through her phone. I placed the report on the coffee table. You should read this, I said. My father frowned. What is it? Grandma's report. That got his attention. He picked it up, flipping through the pages. At first, his expression stayed neutral. Then it changed. Subtly. Then sharply. My mother leaned closer, reading over his shoulder. Her face drained of color. Vivian finally looked up. What's going on? She asked. No one answered her. My father reached the final page. His hands tightened. This is exaggerated, he said. No, Irapia. It's documented. My mother shook her head. We did what we had to do. You broke the terms of the trust, I said. For family, she insisted. For convenience, I corrected. Vivian stood up. This is ridiculous, she said. I'm not giving back my education. I looked at her. You don't have to. They all stared at me. Because you're not the one who owes the money. Silence. Heavy. Crushing. My father swallowed. How much? He asked. $890,000, I said. Plus penalty. My mother sat down slowly. That's impossible, she whispered. No, I said. It's inevitable. Let me ask you something. If the truth finally gave you power over the people who took everything from you, would you use it or would you let it go? My father looked at me like he was seeing me for the first time. You would really do this to your own family? He asked. I met his gaze. You already did it to me. The room fell silent again. But this time, it wasn't tension. It was realization. Because for the first time, they understood. This wasn't a conversation anymore. This was the end of control and the beginning of consequences. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't threaten them. I didn't need to, because the report had already destroyed everything they thought they could hide. And for the first time in 2 years, I wasn't the one losing anything. They were. What's your personal reflection? Would you forgive your family after something like this? Or would you make them face every consequence no matter what?